So today we are going to just review dividing whole numbers. That should be something that you probably already remember from elementary school, but let's just take a look anyway. There are 5 steps in division. In long division, there's divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down. One way that you can remember that is with the acronym DOES, McDonald's, serve, cheeseburgers. The first letters of each of those words will help you remember the steps. And of course, once you do each of the 5 steps, you repeat if necessary. Now, I have these nice vertical lines here to show you. If you wanted to, you could always turn your notebook paper sideways. Some people find that to be a helpful way to do their division because it keeps everything lined up. Now, let's look for just a minute at different ways that you can write division. So some different ways you can write division. It can look like the division house, which is a way probably that you're used to seeing it. So if we wanted to write the problem 4,992 divided by 8, we would write it like this. The 4,992 is our dividend, the 8 is the divisor, and our quotient, which is our answer, goes on top. You might sometimes see division written in fraction form. In that case, the dividend always goes on top. It's always the numerator. And the divisor is always your denominator. So 4,992 divided by 8. This is another way that you can write it. And of course, you can see it with the division symbol as well. So 4,992 divided by 8. All 3 of these mean the exact same thing, and all 3 of those are a correct way of writing that same division problem. Now let's go ahead and start actually using the steps. So 1,248 divided by 6. Remember I told you you might want to try doing it with your paper turned sideways. So let's do that. 1,248 divided by 6. So when I go to work that out, I start by dividing 6 into 1. It won't go in. So then I try 6 into 12. It goes in 2 times. Notice the 2 needs to be over top of the 2 in 12 to show that we're dividing by 12. It might even be helpful to you to use a piece of notebook paper to kind of to just narrow down what you're looking at. So you're dividing 6 into 12. It goes in 2 times. Then multiply. And let's remember our steps here. Divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down. So we've divided, now we multiply. 2 times 6 is 12. Subtract 12 minus 12 is 0. Check, is 0 less than 6? Yes, it is. And the reason that that's important is, let's say that we had said that 6 goes into 12 once. 1 times 6 is 6. When we subtract, we get 6. 6 is not, the 6 that we got when we subtracted is not less than the 6 we got as our divisor. So that tells us that it could have gone in more than just once. And it does, like we said, actually go in 2 times. 2 times 6 is 12. We're going to subtract and get 0. Check, 0 is less than 6, so we're ready to bring down another number. We're going to bring down the 4. And then we're ready to go back to the beginning, and we're going to divide again. So divide. 6 goes into 4 0 times. Multiply. 0 times 6 is 0. Subtract. 4 minus 0 is 4. Check. 4 is less than 6. So we're ready to now bring down the 8. 6. Now we're ready again to go back to the beginning and divide again. So 6 goes into 48 6 times. Excuse me, not 6, 8 times. 8 times 6 is 48. We're going to subtract and get 0, and that means that we're done because there's nothing else left to bring down. So the quotient in this case is 208. Let's go ahead and look at a couple more examples. 735 divided by 21. Now, people sometimes look at this when they go, oh, a double-digit divisor. I can't do that. But yes, you can. Think of a number close to 21 that's easy to know multiples of. For example, 20. Think about multiples of 20. 1 times 20 is 20. 2 times 20 is 40. And continue counting by 20s. And what we're going to use this for is we're going to use this just to estimate how many times 21 will go into a number. And I go up to 9 times the number. That helps me to do my estimating. So I'm going to say 21 will not go into 7. 21 will go into 73. And when I look on my list, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, close to 4 times, but maybe not quite 4. So we're going to estimate 3 times and see if that works. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. That's going to work because 73 minus 63 is 10. Check. 10's less than 21, so I'm ready to bring down the 5. And I'm ready to divide again. Sorry about that. Ready to divide again. 21 into 105. We're going to guess 5 times because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 105 is close to 100. So we're thinking that's probably right. Let's multiply and see. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. So 105 minus 105 is 0. This one has worked out evenly. Our quotient is 35. Let's look at another example. This is a word problem. There are 417 sixth graders going on the next field trip. Each bus can fit 55 students. Now there's 3 different questions I could ask here. How many buses will be needed? Well, if I'm doing that, what I need to do is I need to take the 417 students and split them up into groups of 55. So I need to start by doing 417 divided by 55. Now 55 is close to 50 or 60. You could think of either one. And I'm going to kind of go with that to start, and we'll see how many times we think it's going to go in. 55 won't go into 4 or into 1. It is going to go into 417, and if I count by 50s, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, I might estimate 8 times. Sometimes you might need to do your multiplication over to the side if it's a little too hard to do without the multiplication, without writing it down like this. That's okay. 8 times 5 is 40. Put down the 0, carry the 4. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 4 is 44. Well, that's too big. So 55 can't go into 417 8 times. So let's try 7. And we're going to get 385. That will work. So once we work that one out, we're going to get 7 remainder 32. Now, let's talk about what we're going to do with that and what that actually means. Going back to our questions, we found that 417 divided by 55 was 7 remainder 32. So if we think about that, how many buses will we need? Well, we have 7 groups of 55, but we still had some more students left. There were 32 still left. So we actually need 8 buses. If each bus is filled to capacity, how many buses will be completely filled? Well, they're not all completely filled. There's only 7 that are completely filled. And then how many would be on the last bus? Well, that's where our remainder comes in. That's our other 32 students. So understand that when you're doing division, it's really important to think about the question that's being asked and make sure you're actually answering the question that's being asked. So from that same division problem, I could get 3 different questions with 3 different answers. So just make sure that you're paying attention to what's being asked.